Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Homestead Carbine mod, which is being released by user Alexarator. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is an early 9mm carbine in the form of the Homesteader Carbine, which is a pretty neat gun and certainly looks like a classic rifle, but it is very much not. This is a real-world gun, the Homesteader Carbine, that was made in 2023. So a bit unusual for me. I generally like older weapons, but this certainly looks the part for a classic gun, and I gotta admit, in real life, this is a gun I've actually been thinking of buying for some time, because I want some sort of rifle that's more powerful than a 22, but I don't really care to go all the way into rifle calibers. So, yeah, that's kind of why I'm looking at it today. I saw it pop up on the Nexus and went, oh, hey, I've been thinking of buying one of these. So yeah, let's jump on over here and have a look at what exactly we are getting with the Homestead Carbine, which in its most basic and standard form will do 22 damage using a 9mm round with a firing rate of 33, range of 203, accuracy of 73 for a weight of 11.5. All not too bad there, and as you can see, it is a pretty good looking, though if a little bit basic, of a rifle, but it certainly does look the part for the Homestead Carbines I have seen, and yeah, I quite enjoy it. You guys know me, I always love a more classic style gun that has the mix of wood and metal. It's just my jam. I love that sort of a thing. But it still has some more modern features, like you have a magazine down here, and in real life, they actually even have versions of the gun that can use like standard Glock and SIG magazines as well. So you can actually get some, pretty interesting things in that regard. But all in all, it's just there as a basic Homestead weapon, a basic carbine for you to use in just sort of kind of everyday circumstances, whether it be target shooting or small game. I quite like it. Now, as for Fallout and the modifications we do have over here are a pretty decent little list. There's a lot of stuff in here, both for changing up the aesthetics, but also the different stats and usability of the gun. Nothing too crazy. You're always going to have just a basic rifle, but still, you can mainly up the stats on this to help it be a bit more useful, I'd say, into the mid-game, as this is very much an early to mid-game kind of a weapon. I think maximum without any additional perks, I got up to 44 damage, so definitely not the most, damaging of weapons ever. But yeah, a good solid early to mid-game gun, I'd say. Now, as for how you do get your hands on one of these things, well, first and foremost, you are going to need a mod requirement. Since the game doesn't normally have 9mm rounds, you are going to need the munitions mod to add those in. And with that installed, you'll start seeing these in the world at level 7 on raiders, gunners, minutemen, vendors, and it's even been added into the legendary loot list. So you might find yourself a legendary Homestead Carbine, and that's kind of nifty. So let's take a look at the modifications we do have available for this and then get to shooting. So as for the mods, starting with the receiver, pretty typical stuff in here from standard to powerful on up to the advanced receiver, which is going to give you that 44 max damage, of course, prior to any additional perks that you may take to up that a little bit more. Then the barrel category, we've got a standard, short, extended, shrouded, which is pretty cool looking, a combat barrel, and a marksman barrel, which is also pretty cool looking, and I like that it comes with a bipod. Very nifty. Then in the furniture category, we've got standard, comfort, light, heavy, combat, and marksman. And what's fun about this is it's not just changing up the aesthetics of the gun, but it is actually changing up a few minor things like better action point cost, but worse recoil, and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So it's aesthetics and a little bit more. Now in the magazine category, we sadly only have a standard or extended and then quick eject versions of the same. As I said a moment ago, in real life there's actually versions of this gun that can take Glock and SIG Sauer magazines, so you can get some big magazines in there in real life, but in this you only have the standard or the basic extended. Basically the magazines that are made by the Henry Repeating Arms Company, who make the gun. And then we have in the sights category a surprisingly large amount of sights with a standard, glow, improved glow, laser, reflex, short, medium, long, and then a short, medium, and long night vision scopes as well, which is pretty nifty. And then finally we have the muzzle category, where we've got either nothing, a compensator, muzzle brake, flash hider, muzzle booster, suppressor, or heavy suppressor, which actually works really well with the shrouded barrel. They fit together quite nicely, which is just fun. And yeah, that is it for the different modifications. Like I said, a pretty good list, nothing too crazy in here, but enough both for changing stats and aesthetics that you can, you know, help fit it more towards your style, but it's always still going to be a 9mm carbine. Well, let me go ahead and grab my 2 modified versions that I did make, and then we'll get to shooting. Oh boy, hopefully without that weird lag we just had there. And go to fire. Oh, I forgot to reload, of course. Forgot to reload after playing around earlier. And there we go. A simple, easy to shoot gun. Has a pretty good fast fire rate to it. It can pretty much fire as quickly as you can click your mouse button, which is pretty nice. And sometimes if you click just right, you may even get kind of like a double shot out of it, which is interesting. A little bit weird, but you know, not too bad at all. The recoil on this thing, since it is a 9mm carbine, is not much. It barely has any recoil, so very, very easy and simple to control. And overall, pretty good. I enjoy it. Now let's take a look at my 2 modified versions here, where I've got this advanced Homestead Carbine with that cool shrouded barrel. And of course the extended magazine to get a couple of more rounds out of it, a bit more of a combat version of this baby, and fire. Yeah, like I said, sometimes if you're clicking just right, you get that kind of double shot, which is a little strange, but, you know, in battle, it'll help. It'll certainly help. And of course that 12-round magazine with the extended version there. And a pretty decent little sight here as well. I do enjoy this one. Now let's go over to my sniping one that I made, the Night Vision Advanced Homestead Carbine, still doing the same 44 damage, because again, without perks, that's the highest you're ever going to get it up to. But this one geared to being a bit more of a silent sniper thing. Very nice. So let's grab that. And with the Night Vision long scope, fire. So as you can see, very, very easy with that low recoil to keep on target. It's just that 44 damage is not gonna do a whole lot. But let's, of course, use it against something alive. And even though it's 44 damage, I'm a little bit worried about using it against a Deathclaw, but let's use it against a Deathclaw. See how long it does take for this level 7 and up gun to take out a Deathclaw. Oh boy, I may have made a mistake going with the long scope for this when he's so close. It's actually kind of hard to aim on him. Oh boy, but there we go. He's down there now. Let's take a knee. Fire through the gap. Never mind, I ran out of bullets. And I mean, we're in danger, so we're not going to get the sneak bonuses there, unfortunately, but still, we're getting some damage on him. He's kind of sliding back and forth over there awkwardly, but hey, I mean, I guess that's what Deathclaws do. They like to slide. All right, let's go over to the combat one. And there we go. This version of the Homestead Carbine, go back down so he can come towards us. All right, getting some better damage and more shots in here. Oh God, run away. And definitely easier to shoot him from closer distances with this sight rather than a long night vision. Okay, you know what? Yeah, with this one, we're definitely doing better against him. Nice, nice. When I can actually hit. Let's see if we can take him before he gets us. Got him. Yes, die, Deathclaw. Magnificent. All right, but yeah, that is the Homestead Carbine. It's a pretty fun little gun, I gotta admit. And like I said, IRL, I've been thinking about buying this weapon myself. So it's kind of neat playing around with it in-game. I mean, hasn't really changed my mind on whether or not I want it or not. I mean, because it's a video game and that's different from real life. But still, it's kind of nifty to be playing around with it here in Fallout. And I do think with its aesthetic of both the metal and wood, I certainly do feel that it does fit into this world. And overall is just a nice early game weapon that can help bridge the gap for you a little bit before you get some of the better hardware in the world. But that's going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you have enjoyed this episode and you do come back for whatever mod we do end up looking at next. But until that time, thank you for watching. As always, well, have a good one.